It's another side that like wants to take more, but wants to go that one more round. Because like going that one more round when you don't think you can, that's what makes all the difference in your life. You know what I mean?
Welcome to another episode of One More Round, the Rocky Series podcast. I'm your host, Ryan, and with me today, I have a very special guest, often commenter of our YouTube channel and one of the co-hosts of the Van Damme podcast on the network, Gru. How you doing, brother?
Hello, Ryan. Nice to be here with you. Thank you for having us on. Evan is detained right now, but we had to start because both Ryan and I have to be somewhere. But Evan will be with us shortly, hopefully. But I'm doing great. It's good to see you. One of my favorite things to do is to talk about one of my least favorite movies of all time. The irony is so thick, and I am so excited to always come on to this podcast with you.
Yeah, and just for context for our dear listeners, people are like, where's Katie? Where's Kyle? Well, we did announce on the last episode that Katie's going to be away on vacation for the next 2 episodes. She's living it up, enjoying her life, and not wasting her valuable time on a silly podcast. And Kyle, unfortunately, couldn't make this timing. It was just one of those weird weekends where not only do we have a hosting change or substitution, but also Kyle was unable to make this time. So thankfully, at least Andy could be here because Evan's not here either, and it would have just been me, and I don't think anyone would just want to hear me talk for an hour. So thank you, Andy, for coming on and filling in. And hopefully, if Evan does drop in, he drops in. If not, we're just going to keep continuing. Hopefully, he's okay. Hopefully, he's not.
Yeah, I think he's fine.
Okay,
I'm still here. I'm still here.
Okay, so I've got some emails, of course, which everyone knows we do the emails. Our lovely Katie, she usually reads the emails, but I'll read them today.
Really interested to hear some of these. They're so fascinating when you guys talk.
Do you like the email grab bag portion of the show?
I have personal vested interest in it. Yeah, that's my favorite part, actually. I love to hear your responses to the babble that I throw at you. And, of course, what other people say. I love to hear all the perspectives, and I love to argue them. It's enjoyable to me.
Okay, so here we go. Here's the first one. This is from a longtime supporter and listener of the show. This is from Albert. This is what Albert had to say. Hi, it's Albert, the guy who overthinks the Rocky time paradox. He goes, I feel like you're, as I guess me, Kyle, and Katie, we're too fixated on the 1 year timeline. He's referring to, of course, in Rocky V, like the timeline paradox that Rocky V presents. He says, in recent episodes, you've dismissed evidence suggesting the events in Rocky IV and V span more than a year. First, you said it's impossible to have 28 boxing matches in 4 months. I don't think we ever said 28. I think it's 22. Then you noted Rocky didn't celebrate Christmas with his son in Rocky IV because he was in Russia. The movie clearly, he says, indicates a longer time frame. Please consider this. Albert, I would consider it, but you don't give me any evidence. But he continues. Based on the evidence, which Albert does not provide, I believe it's at least 2 to 2.5 years. Now, I think what he's going to say here is his evidence is this, that there was a significant gap between the production of Rocky IV and V, and Albert thinks V was written to show the rise and fall of Tommy's career over an extended period. Honestly, he says, this doesn't really matter. I'm just having fun defending my theory. I still love the podcast. Best, Albert. Now, Albert, no offense, I'm a little confused about your evidence. We, too, are just as confused because within the evidence of the movie, we're getting two different things. We're seeing a much older Robert, which we've gone over ad nauseum. We're not going to keep doing it. And then, yes, when Tommy arrives, I don't think there's any real clear indication or evidence within the film, especially the theatrical cut, that would indicate that it was more than a year. Andy, what is your overall thoughts on the timeline in Rocky V?
On one hand, we got to get over it. Sly obviously ignores it. He just does what he wants, and he doesn't, and he banks on that the audience is not going to care. You know what? Before podcasting and before deep analysis, we didn't, but now we love to dig. On the other hand, if you want to insert a time jump somewhere, it's fun to do. So I would say the biggest time jump is between when they move into the house and when Adrian gets that phone call from George Washington Duke. It seems like when that phone rings, it seems like they've been there for a little while. Just something about it. It's like the convenience of it. That didn't happen that night. It just didn't make sense. It feels like there had to have been some time, and then Robert's starting the year at school, I guess, or maybe could be starting after Christmas. I don't know. But if I'm going to have some fun and put in a time jump, that's where I would put it for this movie. The sage thing aside, that's just that we have to just, say Sly wanted to use his kid, and for better or worse.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah.
You're right. It's the podcasting world, and that's we're nerds, we're geeks.
But it's fun. It's fun. That's what we love to do.
You know what? The most boring films to podcast about are the ones that are perfect.
You need to critique. It's also fun just to pick up things that you missed.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
A million times.
Yeah. Thanks, Albert. We appreciate your support, and hopefully you keep listening. Send another email if you don't mind. You don't have to, but just give me a couple points of evidence where you believe it is truly look, it should be that long. I agree with Albert that it should be that long, but I would like to have a couple examples within the film, Albert, where you believe they showcase that. Guru was just saying here, the phone call, it seems like it could have taken place later in the timeline with that. The parade has gone by and George Washington Duke is bugging the family. He's like, hey, where you guys been? The parade's going by. It's been a couple of years. Who knows?
Nobody goes broke that fast. You could put it there too. They come back and then all this legal stuff happens. You could put it there too. But it's Rocky. It doesn't matter anymore.
All right. The next email comes from Peter from Australia. And I will say this, Peter was actually my guest co-host on my Rambo podcast, where I've been doing the trivia portions of Rambo. And he was on Rambo First Blood Part 2, Episode 2, I believe. So he did a great job. It was his first time ever on a podcast. He was quite nervous, but he did very well for his first time. He sent in an email. He says, hi, Ryan, Katie, and Kyle. I completely agree with Katie that Over the Top and Cobra are gloriously bad films. They capture Stallone at his peak, megalomania, especially during Cobra's production in the late 85 to early 86, right after Rocky IV. Rumors say Post-it notes on set instructed cast and extras not to look or speak to Stallone. Now, if that's true, that's garbage. I really believe and hope that if I was ever a celebrity or popular, that I couldn't imagine. I just know I would never be that way. What about you? Would you ever be that way?
What way? I'm confused by the email.
That he had Post-it notes. There's Post-it notes that Sly says, don't look at me or speak to me. They're reminders to the cast.
I think that's bullshit. Having been on set as the film snob that I am, when people act that way, they'll do one little thing that might get around the set. He's got an emotional scene today and just kind of leave him alone. Like the people who usually knock on their door to tell him, hey, it's time to shoot or time to film. They'll say he's getting deep into character today. Take it easy on him. Somebody will turn that into, prima donnas. People, they just don't do that. Or at least I've never seen it. I don't buy it. No.
And you could also argue it's not Sly doing it. It could be somebody from his staff, like somebody speaking for him, but he didn't say, I want you to do this. People can arbitrarily Sly or whoever the celebrity, whoever is having a bad day or they had a fight with Ludmilla, who knows? So they're like, don't talk to Sly today. So it's a reminder to leave him alone. But he may not have instructed that. So we have to keep that in mind. Even when this stuff may have happened, it might not have been under Sly's direction to do it.
Yeah, if Evan were here, he would yell at me right now, but I'm going to name drop. And I say I've been around people from The Rock to John Travolta to Robert De Niro and to Danny DeVito. And I've never seen anything even approaching that type of behavior. Nah, I don't see it.
But those were rumors, and Peter didn't start those rumors. I don't think Peter started. That's my defense for Sly.
But if we need to point fingers, we have a paper trail now.
That's right. Now, he goes on to say, Ryan, you're right. Stallone was effortlessly cool with those cowboy boots, aviators, tight jeans, and the matchstick. Now, Peter, I was being sort of sarcastic. I was saying Stallone, he's cool. Don't get me wrong. He's a cool guy. Like, he's a stud. We get it, especially in the 80s. It was almost cliche cool is what I was trying to get at, in the sense of, hey, I want to be a cool guy. How do you be cool in the 80s? You need a matchstick in your mouth and you need tight jeans. You need sunglasses. It was this cliche of how to be a cool guy starter pack.
Yeah. To the original point that Peter was making, I do not subscribe to his theory. I agree with Katie halfway. Cobra is...
You're going to meet her halfway?
I'll meet her halfway. Cobra is gloriously bad. Like from start to finish,
It is.
It's
I said that. That's a bad film.
okay.
It's a bad
Yes,
film, but it's a fun bad film.
but it's a blast of a bad
Yeah.
film. Over the Top, I have a deep affection for. I will say that it is more well made than anybody gives it credit for, aside from some truly bad fundamental mistakes. Sly is very good in it. I keep trying to find the horribly bad. It's not laughably bad.
No, it's not laughably bad.
it-
That's the problem with that film. I've already made my points about it. I don't
know,
enjoy arm wrestling, and I don't enjoy the truck driving.
I'm going to state my thesis statement, and that's it. I'll drop it forever. To me, whenever I watch it, and this gets the same as I go through the years, it's not an arm wrestling movie to me.
It's like saying that Rock is not a boxing movie. I get it. I understand. It's a
and it works to me on that level. It doesn't land for most. I'm in the very, very small minority on this. I know that.
You should just turn your hat backwards right now, Andy. And you'll become a better podcaster.
And it's like a switch. It's like a switch.
All right. He goes on to say, on another note, in 2007, this is regarding the toys, Australian supermarkets stocked Rocky toy figures, likely tied, of course, to the 2006 release. And he says, I regret not buying Ludmilla Drago.
Yeah.
I have a picture here of the toy he was referring to.
Look at that.
Yeah, she's quite chesty in this toy.
Yeah.
She's a big woman. Look at the calves. Look at her legs. She does not skip leg
bigger
day.
than mine, and I have big calves.
Ah, look at
wow. That. Yeah, you're carrying a frame like that, and those things up there have to weigh at least 20 pounds each. That's a good workout every day.
I love it. There she goes. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Peter. Appreciate it. And he says, thanks for your podcast. They make the household chores bearable. Good. Okay. Speaking of Australians, we have a YouTube comment from our favorite Italian Australian, Gino from Eccentric Views of the YouTube channel. If you heard my last episode, I kept getting confused as to when there was a moment when Sly does some really particularly bad acting when he's talking to Adrian on the street. And then when the moment happened, I was like, oh, yeah, that's the part. I knew once I saw it, I was going to be, there's something weird about how he acts. Do you remember that part that I was talking about?
Yeah. Yes.
When he was like, no, you don't respect me.
Yeah.
Okay. It's just
yeah. I have a lot of thoughts about that scene, as you know. We're past that one on the.
We got to move forward.
Timing,
we got to keep moving forward.
Yeah. But to me, the thing rings false because it's not about what it should be about to me. The movie hasn't earned what it's trying to go for there. That's all I can really say that I haven't said already.
Gino is saying, though, that before Sly's moment of, quote, bad acting, he says, I knew exactly what you were referring to. So he knew the scene I was referring to. So when I finally got to it, he was like, oh, yeah, I knew what Ryan was referring to. So thank you, Gino, that I'm not alone.
Oh, no. He was right. I was with you, too. I didn't know.
Okay, good. I don't know why my brain, there were so many mini bad moments before the one that I kept getting confused. Like, where is the big one that always gets me? And then when it happened, I was like, oh, yeah, it happened live on camera. That's the one I'm talking about, guys, because I kept building it up. Okay.
Yeah.
He goes on to say, that always bugged me too. Sorry to bring up the Rocky toys again. No, don't apologize. But the Jack's Rocky line had a prototype of the robot that was never released. You can find images of it on Google. Also, I believe there are two versions of the Santa Pauli figure. One came with a small tag saying, Merry Christmas from the company owner to the staff. That version is more valuable, of course. Okay, there you go.
I remember these.
And we had another love and talk about Over the Top. Boy, this movie's garnered a lot of our thoughts.
It will not get. It's not going away, Ryan. No. That movie will not go away.
Pil Sung from Korean kickboxing company said Over the Top was marketed as an action film at the time, essentially Rocky with arm wrestling. It should have been promoted as a family film, but I suppose they. But he goes on to say, but I suppose they couldn't sell a Sly movie that way.
Yep, there you go. Exactly. Just look at the cover of it. He's got the veins popping out. It's a cartoon thing, and it's not telling us what the movie really is. It's a bait and switch. And Stallone fans at the time, they're looking for Rambo goes arm wrestling, and that was not that, but whatever.
Yeah, and the kid
I love it
too.
But he was supposed to be. We were supposed to hate the kid.
Well, mission successful. Mission successful.
Yeah. Ricky, where was Ricky Schroeder? That was
get Ricky Schroeder.
Perfect for him. They probably were like, oh man, he'd be perfect for this.
They didn't want to get a better actor than Sly.
That little shit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Sly was threatened. Let's get this kid from nobody from nowhere, and
he's a better actor. And he's got better hair than me.
Yeah, damn right.
All right. Speaking of your wrestling fan, we have our favorite wrestler. He used to do amateur wrestling at the time, the real Hector Canales. He had this to say. He goes, "Thank you so much for the plug because we showcased his toy video. He did a toy unwrapping of the Rocky toys on his YouTube channel. Check it out." He goes, "I loved your reactions to the review." That's when we talked about the meat. I don't know if you caught that when we referred to the meat toy.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
so
I did.
All right.
Well, I don't just listen to the parts where you talk about me, Ryan.
Oh, well, I wouldn't blame you. I get it. He goes on to say, Ryan and Kyle were all smiles while Katie was disgusted. Yes, Katie's a vegan, so she had a hard time with even fake meat. He goes on to say the next review after the meat was Rocky Beats the Meat. Oh, there you go. There is a review of Rocky Beats the Meat. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He goes on to say that a couple of years after the Rocky toy line was canceled, I worked as an extra talent at WWE. Oh. Feeling dejected, I sat in catering in my rented suit and struck up a conversation with an older gentleman who said he was a Jack's employee. I asked, that's the toy company, I asked about rumored figures that never saw release, like Skating Adrian. He mentioned his wife had been nagging him to clean their garage and offered that if I helped, I could keep anything he discarded, including resin prototype skates for Adrian that were never produced and his Santa Pauli. He gave me his number and told me to call him the next weekend. A week later, after getting over not being offered a WWE contract, but you know what? The fact that he got that close, that he got sniffing, that's still something.
That's what I was thinking of. I'm like, if I'm sitting there in WWE catering, I'm like, life could be worse.
It could be worse.
Yeah.
It got worse. He didn't get the contract. Sorry, Hector.
All right. Not everything works out. Hey, listen, I was 3 inches from being in national treasure. You get so close, you could touch it, and then you don't get there, and then you're out. I mean, that's what happens, but you don't regret a second.
It reminds me of my first girlfriend.
There you go. Get it out.
So close, but can't touch it. He goes on to say, I remember the Jack's employee. I searched everywhere for his number, then realized that I left it in the rented suit's front pocket, which I had returned 6 days earlier, and I never saw that man again. Oh no, Hector! So it did get worse for him. He was that close to getting the Adrian never produced prototype skates. That would have been a find.
I'm trying to picture myself walking into a Toys R Us and saying, "Can I have a Skating Adrian and Santa Pauli?" I think they would handcuff me right there. It's just.
But don't tell me.
Weird.
Don't tell me you wouldn't have those up for your Christmas decorations every year.
Oddly enough, as big of a fan as I was, I don't remember like that detailed. I remember the Rocky figure. Basically, it was the Rocky and the fighters. I don't remember Mickey's. I don't remember Paulie. I don't remember any of those, any of the side characters. I remember Clubber. I remember Apollo. That's all I remember, honestly. Drago, definitely. That's it. I don't remember these others.
He goes on to say, to wrap up the toy topic, Robert Balboa Jr. wasn't made because Milo Ventimiglia had signed his likeness rights to Mezco, which was producing action figures for the TV show Heroes.
Heroes. Yeah. Got out in front of that one.
But who needs a Rocky Jr. figure when you can get a Street Singer action figure? Yes, they made a Frank Stallone figure based on his first Rocky appearance. Why? Why not? Thanks again, brother. Says what? There's a Frank Stallone figure? No, I got to do a quick search. Sorry, folks. I don't like doing this when I'm recording. Frank Stallone toy. If there is one, I might have to buy that.
I mean, you pay enough tribute to Frank Stallone.
There is.
Wait, I got to see this. Look at that.
There it is.
But folks. It just says Frank Stallone, though. What's the character's name?
But you have to look on the back of the box, I guess. There'd probably be some sort of bio on the back of the box.
But it's labeled as Frank Stallone. See on the bottom there.
There is a back of the box here. I don't need to show it online. See if I can read it, though. I think this is worth showing. It's hard to read.
What's he credited as in the first movie?
Oh, that's street corner singer? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so. They never really identified
Maybe he was just Frank. So there's the back of the box.
Right.
I can't read that writing there. But yeah, it does say Frank Stallone.
I can see it says Frank Stallone. Hey, maybe Frank Stallone started out as a street corner singer in Philadelphia. Ran into Rocky Balboa. We know Rocky ran into Sly in the art museum. And that little Easter egg. You remember that? You remember
Oh
that?
yeah, yes, of
You
course, of
remember
course.
that.
Okay, all right, that's fantastic. Thanks for telling me that, Hector. I might have to. Oh, $115 US. Oh,
That would look great on the desk right there. That would
I
look
might
great
have to
right
think
there.
about getting one just because I do
Yeah.
that Frank Stallone podcast. If you guys don't know, just Google Frank Stallone. Who is this guy? Podcast. I do that with
Hey,
Doug.
you got to put some money into the podcast. Sometimes you got to spend money to make money. You got to put it in the budget. You got to put
I
it
just
in the
want
budget.
viewers. I don't care about money.
That's
I
my
just want people
point.
watching. Yeah.
That's my point. But you got, to make things better, you got to be willing to, spend a couple of bucks.
You got to go take the hits if you want to. Okay.
Yeah, you got it. Very good. Yeah, there you go.
Now we got some comments from a real irritating commenter on our channel. He usually comments almost every episode and just overloads us with stuff. I was really hoping Evan would be here to tell him to shut up, but he's not here. That's from Andy Grew. Okay.
This
Yes.
a-hole.
So this is what you had to say about some things here. You said, Katie, we just returned, you and Evan, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just returned from Vegas and stayed at the same hotel where Lincoln Hawk won the arm wrestling championship and his son's love. Oh,
That is correct. We stayed at the now Westgate, which is the former Las Vegas Hilton, and we actually walked where the moment that I
you walked where Jesus walked. I mean,
No. I can't say that we walked where the actual competition was, but we did walk that moment that I discovered via you guys, where Lincoln Hawk at the very end, retrieves custody from Jason Cutler at the end when they drive away, where the limo was parked there. So we were at that.
All right. We don't need a whole
spot.
breakdown of that film.
I'm just saying. You read the comment.
That film, that over
it's going to haunt you forever. It's not going away, Ryan.
No more over the top comments. They have to stop. Holy smokes. I'm sick of this. I talk more about the over the top comments than I have about the film. But
we need a podcast of just over the top therapy for Ryan.
Oh, man. And you continue with it. Here we go. You said if Over the Top retained its original title and was marketed as a father-son drama, so you agree with the Kickboxer, would the movie work better without changing anything except its marketing? It was promoted as an arm wrestling film, so you agree with the Kickboxer.
Yeah, and the original title was Meet Me Halfway.
Was that really the original title?
Yep.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a lame song.
But it's beautifully lame.
Oh,
and when it comes on, you do not turn it off. I dare you to turn it off when it comes on. I dare you.
I'm trying to turn it off in my brain. It's difficult.
Cannot turn that song off. Kenny Loggins can sell you anything.
Oh, man.
Damn it.
You go on to say when Robert goes, now we're back to the Rocky film, thank goodness. You said when Robert goes, this is my question. I was confused by your statement when you're saying the continuity was thrown off, and you clarified it here. You said when Robert goes downstairs and Rocky follows, the next shot makes it seem like Rocky is already downstairs while Robert is still by the stairs. The work print fills in this gap. This inconsistency has always bothered you.
Yeah, so when Robert is at the bottom of the stairs, so you want to talk? Let's talk. Okay, that literally is the next cut from Rocky following Sage down the stairs. So that's a bad continuity error. And in the work print that you've showed, and I've never watched it all the way through, but I've seen probably all of it, they have a whole conversation before he says, do you want to talk? Let's talk, in that work print. So that fills in that gap there. That has always bothered me. It's like he follows him down the stairs, and then all of a sudden he's on the other side of the room. Bothers me.
I'm glad the workers print and or at least our podcast resolved that for you a little bit. Okay.
Yeah. In fact, I have a question for you. Okay. Please. I know nobody ever wants to go in and, do like a director's thing of this movie, and the director's gone also, but wouldn't you like to see?
He's not gone, Andy. He died.
He died. Yeah, hey, she didn't leave, Paulie. She died. Wouldn't you like to see, though, maybe DVD extras like these deleted scenes or extended scenes, not part of the movie, just released, like remastered, so you could see them, that they would be released in some fashion?
Of course. At the end of the day, we'd love to see these properly done. So what can they do with a work print? Is there a way they can fix it?
I have no idea. It depends what they have in the vault. Meaning,
why is it so shiny? Why is a work print so shiny?
Because it's almost 40 years old at this point, and that's video.
Well, you're the movie guy. I thought you.
Yeah, that's transferred videotape is what you're watching.
Because it actually has the timestamps on it. That's all.
Yeah,
like this is like the raw footage or
that much. I don't know. I've never seen that side of it.
That being said, they're leaving money on the table. Screw Sly's feelings on it. Get somebody like us, meaning like me, you, Rocky nerds, and to say, let's go in the studio and let's cut together the ultimate Rocky 5 cut with the work print. Let's go. Let's do it a la Stallone style, what he did for Rocky 4 in his version. That's fine. Whether you like it or not, he did that. Let's do it for Rocky 5. Call it the fan cut. Call it the ultimate Rocky 5 fan cut. MGM releases it and they make money. Why they leave money on the table, I'll never understand.
It's not even Sly's decision.
No, it's MGM.
I don't know why. Maybe they don't care, or the Winklers don't care. Whatever. They just they want to do. Who knows?
If anyone in the camp is listening to this, you're leaving money on the table. Would they not sell DVDs if people did that?
Yeah, 10 or 20, I'm sure.
Oh, come on. Are you kidding me? The Rocky fan base would be nuts for it. I can't imagine anyone who legitimately loves the Rocky films would not, at the very least, be curious to see what it looks like. Like everyone would watch it. Everyone would watch it at least once, which is money on the table for streaming or buying.
If you gave me the tools and the chance to remake one movie, to go back in history and remake one movie, it would be Rocky 5. And the close second would be Godfather 3.
Now, I'm sort of doing that. I've got all the video files put together that I've been presenting on this podcast.
Yeah.
I'm going to piece them all together. It's going to be a Frankenstein-ish type job, but that's the best I can do, and I'm going to make it free.
Somebody will get their hands on something, because what you have is a vast improvement from what I saw 7 or 8 years ago, which is the same thing.
Oh,
just the same exact thing. It just, as bad as the one that we have looks, the other one looked 10 times worse.
Okay.
And it was in pieces.
Oh, I got this one sent to me from, I've been holding on to this for a few years now, just in my hard drive, ready to do this. Okay. This is the last comment, then we'll get into the film. This is from you. You said, my final thesis on the Rocky Adrian scene everyone loves but me.
Yeah.
Oh, anyways, you go on to say it's a great scene, but here we go. Here's the Andy film snob. But the movie hasn't earned it, you said.
Yeah.
It would hit harder with a proper buildup. Why don't you just say the rest of your words for this point? What do you think should have happened here?
So this is an explosion that is just brewing from nothing other than Adrian sitting on the sidelines watching literally nothing happening, because there's nothing deep about it. It's so forced. And my whole thing is that everything should center around this moment. This is the end of the second act, start of the third. So this is where the final roller coaster ride down begins. And everything is supposed to lead up to this. And between Rocky and Adrian, nothing has happened until this moment in the movie, really. Aside from a couple little moments here and there, the movie's been about Rocky and Tommy and Rocky and Robert. And the truth is, the Rocky and Robert stuff isn't that deep, because they haven't had much of a relationship on screen up until this point. So the biggest problem with Rocky 5 is that it's manufactured. They're trying too hard to go in a certain direction. Evan gives them credit for trying. And in my estimation, they try too hard to try to recapture a spirit and a feeling while still trying to reinvent the wheel. And they go too far in both directions. They go too far with the forced nostalgia. Let's force them back to the streets. And they go too far with, and let's replace a lot of the old music with some hip hop, because that's what the kids are listening to today. That all bleeds into this scene right here, because this is supposed to be the emotional centerpiece of it. To me, it falls flat, because at this point, I don't know what she's even talking. I mean, I do know what she's talking about, but it just hasn't come up. It just hasn't been a thing. We've been a spectator for the first time in the Rocky series. We haven't felt like a part of it. Now, that being said, a lot of the stuff that you've presented in the work print does make it better, because they go into other things between them, between Rocky and Adrian. Not just about Rocky and Rocky Jr., but Rocky and Adrian. You're losing me. And Rocky's shock. I've never seen that before. Last episode. You know, he can't even believe that Adrian would say this. That hits. But where was that? Why? Who's cutting that out? You want a scene? There you go. But no, he just says, it was always you and me. It was always you and me. Let me go take care of the kid. It just does not ring true, and never will, the way it is. That's the thing.
All right. Valuable points. I get you. And the workers' print has shown throughout this journey on this season a lot of missed opportunities, a lot of deeper drama. Would have been a perfect film, no, but it wouldn't have been as bad. I don't think it was been as maligned if they kept some of the themes that they cut out.
There is a great story here buried under a whole lot of manufactured nonsense that I think Sly or them, they felt they needed to get people into the theater.
I will say even more. There is an incredible film in this film that I just wish I could go back in time and just guide Sly. Yeah, I don't care. I'll say me, fine. To say like just from the timeline issues, like also tell Sly, look, you got to do something with the son. You want your son in it? That's cool. Don't get me wrong, that's awesome. In fact, Sage does a great job, but you got to do a 5-year jump. You got to say 5 years later. All the things we've talked about. There would have been an incredible film, and I'm sorry, I'll stand by it. I don't care. You can have your freaking street fight, all you freaking street fight lovers, but have the film end in the ring and have Rocky knock out Tommy in the ring proper and say, I loved you, man. You and me were supposed to be like this, but with the gloves on. He's doing that in the ring as he's looking down at a fallen Tommy who's literally gets schooled by his teacher. Seeing Rocky win the fight, sure, in the ring, but be devastated by that victory in the ring because he lost Tommy as a person. Tell me that's not a better drama. I don't
love it. And let me ask you a question. I don't think I've ever asked you this question. Do you think that Rocky needed to lose his money for this movie to work?
Okay, let me think about that. Sorry, you caught me off guard. I'm just going through the film really quickly. Tommy has to be, it's funny, there's no. The only thing that you still have Adrian's restaurant. There's no reason why Adrian could have opened a restaurant as a rich woman.
Can I offer something up?
Sure. Is there any reason? No, there's no reason.
Yes,
no.
The Rocky Adrian scene would hit more if it was this way. Okay. They don't lose the money. Everything's fine. He retires. They're in this beautiful house. And guess what? He's getting bored. He's a fighter. He's not a retiree. He just fought the best fight of his life. He's freaking on fire. He's got to do something. So what does he do? Hey, I'm going to reopen Mickey's gym.
Sure.
And then he goes after Tommy. He sees this kid. He gets lured away from his family, not from money, not because they're destitute, but because he's a fighter, not, quote, a father. And then Adrian's Rocky, it's taking you away from us, like not him, it. It doesn't have to be about him. It's it. That's the movie I would have wanted to make. But
the tagline would be something the greatest fight was for his family.
Exactly. And it's not even hyperbole. That's how I feel about it.
You know what, man? It is so. This is what I mean. It's such a frustrating film. I think that's why people hate it. Not because it's quote unquote a bad film. It's because it's such a freaking missed opportunity to have a prime Sly. He was in prime shape form. Seeing him shirtless in the ring would have been fantastic. Maybe with AI in the future, 20 years from now, you can have fan-made films correcting this film. It's unfortunate that there was it would have been an incredible chapter in the franchise where people could have even argued, what lacked in Rocky IV with the drama and heart and family drama, we're getting in spades in part 5. And we have a very strong, big, young, it's teacher versus student.
I would have a suggestion to Sly. Write a novel. Write it.
Yeah.
He used to do that for all the Rocky movies. I used to buy him. He used to write novelizations. And they took a lot of liberties in those. He used to go a lot deeper. There's a lot of stuff in the Rocky IV one that goes a little bit deeper into Drago and stuff like that. He would have some fun with that. That'd be interesting. An alternative universe of Rocky V.
See, I'm all excited about the film I just created in my head. Now we got to go look at this film now.
But that's what I like about it. That's what I like about it. Because I like talking about it.
All right. So where we last left off, of course, was I gotta remember now. It's been a couple weeks. Right.
Tommy drove off. That's right.
Off.
And Adrian and Rocky have that little emo in the street. And now he's going to talk to Robert. I don't think you got that far. Yeah.
It's right here. Here we go. Okay.
All right.
About you guys.
So now we got Robert, doing heroin on the street with he's smoking. Let's go down the shore, guys. Let's hang out at the shore instead of the street corner. They're all acting toughs.
Yeah, and here's the thing, Ryan. Are we supposed to be empathetic with Robert here this whole time? He's acting like a punk. We know what he's going through. We know because we've been force-fed it. We know he's going through teen angst. but he's still acting like a little punk. He's still got a mother who loves him. I'm not with him completely. I know what's going on. If someone would just sit down and say, listen, you misunderstand, let's talk this out, and that's fine. That's all these people need here.
Yeah, I actually have 5 sons. I have 1 daughter and 5 sons, and I guess I admire a little bit that Robert loves his dad so much he's all bent out of shape about this. But if I was training some guy, my kids would be like, whatever. Part of me is I don't think my kids would be all bent out. Look, I am away a lot in the military as it is. It's just kind of funny how do my kids love me as much as Robert loves his dad? I don't know. I'm sure they do. But you get what I'm saying?
But you would know if your son was upset with you.
Oh, of course.
And so Paulie clearly knows. Everybody knows that Robert is getting upset because Rocky's being an asshole. Nobody would say a word this whole time. Is this the first time that Rocky and Adrian have spoken in the street?
The characters are living a life outside of the scenes that we're seeing. I know we can only comment on what we're shown as a viewer. There's scenes that are happening that we don't see.
The movie's just not made well enough.
I'm being an apologist to a degree, saying that we're seeing these snippets of their lives.
That's what I need. I need people to defend it.
All right, so Robert's saying, let's go to the shore. I don't know about you guys, but I got to get out of here. He can't handle the hoagie shop, so.
Yeah, tough life.
I gotta get out of here. Hey, what do you say we go to the shore, huh?
Yeah, let's go. Yeah. Oh, yeah, great. How are we going to get there?
And how are we gonna get there? We throw our thumbs in the air, we'll hitchhike.
Hey, yo.
What's he want?
You want me to stay with you?
No. You're right, I got enough problems with my old man. Come on.
I would love to see Chicky's old man. Probably tosses him around the house a little bit. I bet you he gets beat up at home, eh?
He's like straight out of The Outsiders.
Yeah.
But Robert here, he seems to have adapted a thick New York accent.
Oh, I know. He's talking about gangster
in the last couple weeks, because that's how long this movie feels like. It's all this is happening.
I guess when you turn to rebel, you start smoking, and he's like, I gotta get out of here. I'm a tough guy now. I'm from the Bronx. I'm from the hood. I know.
Yeah, we just haven't seen enough evolution here to buy it. That's the problem. And Sage is great. He really is. I have to give him credit.
Oh, he does fine. He does fine.
Yeah. Yeah, he really is good. He's not the problem.
No.
You ain't going to hit him, are you?
No, you don't hit him.
See, it's funny. I laughed when I heard that as a kid.
So did I.
But now that I'm older, I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess all these kids were probably punched by their parents. She wasn't even trying to be funny. She might have been serious now that I think about it.
Probably, but I remember that getting a laugh. Yeah.
Yo, kid, when you start smoking?
I don't know, didn't you ever smoke?
Yeah, I done a lot of bad things,
Nothing worth bragging about.
Good line, though.
Yeah, that's a good
I like that line.
I wised up.
Okay, so maybe I'll wise up someday too.
Of course, once he says, maybe I'll wise up one day too, is when he chucks the cigarette.
Yeah. This is good. He wants approval. To me, that's the little part of it.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't done with that cigarette.
Name the other 2 scenes where a cigarette was chucked away.
In this movie?
No,
or
in the first film.
In the locker room in the beginning? And when he goes, before he goes into the bar?
Oh, I was thinking of like the actual version of chuck it. Did he chuck it away in the locker?
Yeah.
Okay, because I was thinking of when Gazzo takes it away from Rocky. You're in training now.
Gazzo takes it. Takes it and throws it away.
He chucks it, and then the other one was when little Marie goes, nobody likes garbage, but then she chucks her cigarette.
Very good. Yeah. Quick question: was Joe Spinell gone by the time this movie got made?
Oh yeah, he was gone before 3.
That's a shame. I know they fell out, but I would have.
Did they really?
I believe they did. I believe they did. I don't know the story behind it, but I believe they fell out. But I would have loved to have seen a guy like him around here. Maybe what if he became the promoter?
No, that'd been great.
That would have been great. Yeah.
Maybe it's a good night to start for both of us,
Look, you got your thing with Tommy and I got my friends. What's wrong with that?
Wrong with that is you change it right in front of my face, kid, and I don't see nothing. That's what's wrong.
Hey, don't worry about it.
I gotta worry about it. The deal was we were supposed to be tight. You remember?
What about Tommy? You tight with him too, huh?
I thought it was going to be, that's for sure. Tommy is going his own way, kid, and you ain't as old as me, but like, sometimes just because you get old don't mean you're smarter, and especially me. I got like holes sometimes, and things fall through, and I make mistakes.
All right, so that was all the worker print stuff. That's all new footage. Of course, when you listen to this on your audio feed, folks, that's, of course, a worker print. That's stuff that's not in the theatrical cut. It's a little bit hard to hear, but Andy, what are your thoughts on what could have been?
That's what the movie's supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about how he's just getting pulled in different directions, and he just doesn't think that far ahead. He's not stupid, thinks about and sees what's in front of him. And the theatrical, he's sort of making excuses for behavior. That was yesterday. Here, he's being much more honest here. He's saying what's really going on. And this hits much better than what they eventually decided on.
It's very humbling here what the Rocky character is saying. He's two things. He says, I've got a hole in my head and things kind of fall through. And it's a really clever way of saying that he just misses the boat. I don't know what it is, but I just miss things. And I think that's an important part of the character that he's explaining now to the viewer, like, how come Rocky doesn't see this? And don't forget, he's had the conversation with Adrian. He sees it now, but he's saying, I guess I just missed you. I missed losing you. I missed your signals. I didn't catch it. It wasn't intentional, because he goes on to say, just because you get older doesn't mean you get smarter.
And Ryan, this goes hand in hand with the work print version of the scene before, where Rocky's in absolute shock that Adrian is feeling this way.
Yeah.
These two scenes hit so much harder put together like that than the two that they have. Don't they, Ryan? Do you agree?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't. It makes it more forgiving for the Rocky character, but whatever. They decided, no. We want to make Rocky look really bad, I guess.
I don't know. It was Avildsen who edits. He edited the movie.
Was it him that edited it? I don't even know.
I know that he was known for editing his own movies, but I can't think that Stallone gave up everything. But Stallone admitted that he was kind of lazy with Rocky V.
Oh,
he has admitted that. He has said that. He chose not to direct it. He was having fun. He was at pretty much his peak Hollywood movie star lifestyle. And I think he definitely, and the writing shows the laziness, but he has said that. He definitely has. Couldn't tell you where.
Hey, don't worry about it.
I gotta worry about it. I mean, the deal was we were supposed to be tight.
What about Tommy? You tight with him too, huh?
Tommy. Yeah, well, that was yesterday,
See, in the workers' print, when that came up, he said, Tommy's gone his own way. He's doing his own thing now. I don't know if it's better or worse. He also said that wasn't what I thought it was going to be as well. It turned out to be not what I thought it was going to be, which I think is still a better statement.
100%. Here, it's like he's saying, my other friend, he left me. He doesn't like me anymore. He likes the other guy. In the other one, it's he doesn't see things the way we do, Robert. His heart is not what it's supposed to be. I thought it was. It's not. You got the heart. That's what the work print is telling me.
Yep.
This one is telling me it's all about Tommy. I guess that's the direction they felt they needed to go in. They need to focus more on the villain being a human being rather than a sport, right. I guess.
Kid, you remember you telling me a long time ago about deceptions, and I was talking about scams, and I should have listened to you. I was trying to teach you. All right? But you were teaching me, and I didn't wise up, and I didn't know, and I made mistakes, and I do things, it bothers me, because I forget a lot of things, and I just...
Now, okay, I do like a little bit, again, the work print a little bit better because he talks about just because you're older doesn't mean you're smarter, because it's very Rockyism to say I got this hole in my head where things fall through. I think it's a better Rocky way of saying things. You know how he does that descriptive way of saying things? His metaphors are great. And then he goes into this part always, I don't know what it is. I know it's his son in real life, so don't get me wrong. It's hard to say. It's almost like when you can stop picking them up, you stop kissing them.
He's doing it in a weird way. He's like licking them like a dog. I don't know what he's doing here, but this whole little sequence is capped by that little thing there.
It's weird. It's a weird comment to kiss him on the cheek.
And it comes across as unintentionally funny.
Yeah.
But also, if you look at it, this whole sequence right here, it's like a truncated version. They took all the best little parts of what we saw in the work print and just said, all right, let's get all the beats in here. So they got all right, he says he's forgetting things. That covers the hole in the head. He says Tommy was yesterday. That covers the whole he's going his own way thing. They just didn't think deeper. Just didn't think deeper. And here they just said, oh, we'll just get it all in here and that covers it. Let's Sly do the acting with his, it doesn't work.
I don't blame you. If I was you, I wouldn't talk to a guy like me no more. Absolutely, I would not. You know what I would do? I'd say, hey, you know what that guy ought to do? He ought to hang a vacancy sign on his head. Think everybody be happy about that? Well, I use my head like a gumball machine. They drop some pennies in, all the candy comes out, and you could use the money to go to college. I know I made a few mistakes, but I would love to hang out with you again.
That version there, that was the work print version. That was him trying to be a little bit silly, using humor, which I get. Humor is a great tool to use to deflate a situation. He's being self-deprecating by saying they should put a vacancy sign on my head because I don't have a brain. And it's so empty that they could fill it up with gumballs and people would pay for money to get the gumballs. And then when the money came out of my head, you could pay for your college.
I think about what I would have responded to as a kid, the old playful nature of my old man, that would have brought me right back because that was the Rocky that Robert has not seen since. But then I go back to the ice skating scene and he's being just as silly there. And it's one of the most classic scenes ever. And here you get rid of this last part where he gets in front of, I would love to hang out with you again. I never liked that. He's too deep. Rocky was never overly emotional. And I love that he falls back on his playful nature. And that would have been enough. And just let the camera be on stage and just let a smile just start creeping across his face. And as an audience, we're smiling too, because, all right, we've got Rocky back. And now let's finish this thing and go home. But they didn't have enough faith in the audience, maybe.
Yeah. I'd love to hang out with you again. Here we go.
Yeah, I don't like that. Hang out with you. Yeah. Hang out with my dad? No, I spend time with my father.
Yeah.
Just you and me. I swear to God, it's just going to be you and me this time.
Home team?
Yeah. Home team.
Until we get to part 6 again and you're all butthurt again about me as a father.
Yeah, okay. But they got to kiss my ass with this whole home team thing. Number one, they're quoting Gabe Cash. Okay? Because
who?
Cash says it in Tango and Cash.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So it's a Stallone term that he doesn't think anyone's going to pick up on, but I got you, Sly.
Home team.
And
what does that mean, home team? I don't even
means nothing. It means, hey, let's go. It's Sly's version of let's go, because it's right towards the end of Tango and Cash when they crash the car and Tango's like, yeah, home team, huh? Something like that. So number one, there's that. Number two, if that's supposed to be the big emotional landing here, they just invented it. Like, it's out of nowhere. Like, it's something that was just manufactured. Home team, all of a sudden, what's that? Like, oh, all right, that's this movie's saying. It just feels so forced and so silly, especially compared to what I just saw in the work print. But I've never liked that either.
Hey, kid, you want to hear a joke?
Yeah, no. Sure, why not?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Tuna fish.
Tuna fish, who?
You can tune a piano, but you cannot tune a fish.
You're getting better.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Of all the jokes, which one's your favorite? The tuna fish, Cows don't wear bells because their horns don't work, or shell shock.
The cowbell joke is the one that works the best because of where he is, and he's coming in to cheer up his wife who's had a tough day on her feet. She's pregnant, and all he's trying to do is make her smile and whatever. Here, he's trying to repair a relationship, and he's doing it with the Henny Youngling thing going on. It might have worked better if it was coming after the work print version of that scene, because he was already in silly mode. Here, he just dropped this home team. We're going to hang out, I promise. Dun, 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 dun. And then, hey, tuna fish. So it just doesn't work.
The best joke is the cow one. I don't know why that one always. Outside the movies, just even outside the movie, I think it's a funny joke. I don't know why.
It is cute. It is cute. But the tuna fish joke is an old one that always lands for little kids. Maybe not weed smoking teenagers in front of the Atomic Hoagie shop in South Philly, but you know.
Now for this next part, I just am going to show the workers' print. So basically, the workers' print is very similar to the theatrical print, but it's different at the same time. It would have been too hard to edit the missing scenes or whatever. The tone, because now we've gone to the basement of the championship night fight. They're in the basement watching the fight. So overall, I just ended up liking the workers' print version of this whole scene better than the theatrical print overall. So you'll see within the workers' print, okay, that's the theatrical cut, that's in the theatrical cut. But for time and purpose, we're just going to show the workers' print version of that sequence. We all know the theatrical cut enough. Okay, I hope I set that up. Okay, here we go.
You perfectly, because because none of us care enough about this fight to even bother.
Well,
you know?
yeah, and that's
the
what
problem.
And you'll see right away they actually just show more of the fight. Actually, let's just
go ahead.
All right, let's go to the center of the ring now for instructions from referee Frank Cappuccino.
Gentlemen, you were both given your instructions in the dressing room. Are there any questions? If not,
A lot of people there, huh?
good luck to both of you.
Tommy Gunn has been said to be
Let's put
such
it in,
a student
Ryan.
of
Let's
Rocky
put it in.
Balboa's style has been done by the press as the Clone Ranger.
Rocky says there's a lot of people there, which is kind of a weird statement. I mean, yeah, it's a championship fight. Rocky, you've been there with a big crowd. And we hear the announcer say, you guys were given the instructions before the fight. That wasn't in the theatrical cut. And this Paulie here, the way he's smoking like a mafia kingpin guy, there's just a different mood here.
Yes. I don't know if you heard me, but I said, what if, Ryan? What if? Imagine all of these shots. You get the shot on Rocky, you get the shot on Paulie, you get the shot on Junior, and you get the shot on Adrian, all watching, but they're in the arena. Rocky and Paulie, they have the same expressions. Rocky's looking around. What's Duke doing here? What's going on? Paulie knows this is going to go bad. And Rocky and Adrian and Rocky Jr., they are there because we are now all friends again. So they are in the audience. And they know Rocky's going to lose this kid no matter what happens. There is the tension that they were going for here. Because otherwise, we don't give a shit what happens in this fight. But if Rocky was there in the corner, we would be torn because Rocky would be torn. He wants him to win, but he also knows winning is probably the worst thing that could possibly happen.
And what you're going to see here, which is very interesting when you watch this, is Paulie is the only one not rooting for Tommy. It's not till Tommy's betrayal about the angel on my shoulder that the family sort of turns on Tommy. Paulie is always anti-Tommy.
I've always noticed Paulie. He's like, but I've never noticed Rocky Jr. or Adrian's reaction.
You'll see.
So I'm interested to see this. Okay.
Yeah, it's quick. So I want to point it out before we see it. Rocky's really excited about Tommy winning, and Adrian's excited with him. It's interesting. It's not till the betrayal that both of them are like, holy crap, this guy just...
And I have a theory. I want to see it first.
Okay.
Hey, why didn't I think of that? Very witty.
That big left hook and the dangerous record, 22-0, 18.
Relax, Rocco. It ain't worth the stress. Hey, let's make...
So he says, relax, Rocco. He ain't worth the stress. It ain't him, Paulie. It ain't him. So what's he referring to there? Why is he stressed?
That's a good question.
Because he says, relax, Rocky. He ain't worth the stress. Rocky's response is, it ain't him, Paulie. It ain't him.
Maybe it's like Adrian said. Maybe he feels like he's in the ring too.
That's played out verbatim with him hitting the bag. It's in the workers' print as well. But I just, because he seems very like, I think he might. If I was,
it doesn't quite make sense.
No, but I think there's a part of him that wishes he was there.
Hell yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
In fact, it still doesn't make sense to me why he just didn't continue. Duke said, "Let him still train you." Why the hell not?
Yeah, I don't know.
Come on. He knew what the business is, and this is what it's going to be. Either you're in or you're out.
You can't be settled out without a celly, huh?
That's what he said there. What did he say?
Something about his soul.
Oh, okay.
It was tough to pick up.
He's a little tight. He's nervous, It's like the way I felt when I was fighting with Apollo,
Rocky, we ain't you, huh? There never was that kid.
Give him a break, would you?
So that was in the work. Sorry, the theatrical cut too. Where you mentioned he's just nervous because it's like that first fight I had with Apollo, which is great that they talked about Apollo. I think we mentioned it's great that he brings him up.
I disagree with you a little bit. I think it's a little expositional here. It's a little manipulative. It's like we're supposed to be continuing to draw the parallels of Rocky to Tommy and him to Mickey. It's like we've been hit over the head with this from the very opening scene when he calls Adrian Mick.
Yeah.
But call it what it is. Mickey is the main villain of this movie. But we'll go down that road another time.
All right, come on, Tommy. Do what you was told. In and out, side to side. Don't eat the jet.
Taking a
Up the ropes. What are you, blind?
and again.
Well, he's getting hit with everything but the ring post. Good.
He's getting hit with everything but the ring post, and Paul's good. I love that.
Yeah.
That's not in the theatrical cut.
Right.
Yeah. And yeah, as you can see, there's just more in the ring fight. You see that? There's more like actual shots of the fight. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, I don't care about either of these fighters. That's the problem.
Yeah, and that's maybe why they took it out.
I would if my people were in the corner.
Okay,
but they're not.
But I just love how Paul's like, good. I'm glad he's getting hit with everything.
Yeah, that I like. Yeah.
Good. Really good. Well, what's the matter?
Come on, Kane. Let's rumble. Go for it, Kane.
Hey, Paul, what are you doing?
I don't like the guy.
Come on, Tommy. What's the
See, look at that. So Paulie makes it very clear. Come on, Kane, you can do it. And Rocky's actually, what are you doing? He missed Paulie's signals. Oh, you're actually rooting against Tommy? And he goes, yeah, I don't like the guy.
Imagine Paulie did that in the corner. Imagine Kane is punching on Tommy and Paulie just lets it slip. Let him have it, Kane. And Rocky just looks at Paulie. Oof, that'd be great. Yeah. Oof. Yeah.
But I love that it's great acting there by Sly when he looks at Paul. You really feel this way? You really feel this way?
Yeah. It is good. It just they're in a basement.
and that wasn't in the theatrical cut.
Right.
Okay, come on. That's it.
To the body. Very reminiscent of Rocky Balboa's style.
That's it.
Like a powerhouse.
Jab. Move that side to side and back and forth like a metronome. Slip side. That's it.
Adrian comes down, the fight's on, and she smiles.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Yes. But it's clear why. It's very clear. They love Rocky. Rocky wants Tommy to win. And they are with whatever, at this point now, they are back with Rocky and they are supporting whatever Rocky wants because they have absolute trust, love, and faith in him. And I don't think it's any deeper than that.
He remembers everything. Come on.
Paulie never had that much respect for Rocky. Paulie was always sparing with the love and respect for Rocky. He gave it a little bit in 4, and I love that little scene in 6, but he's going to always say the reality.
And Rocky's, see, he remembers everything. So he's excited. He sees the student doing well.
He should be.
Good. You see good, you do good.
Yeah, he should be. He absolutely should be. Just not in the basement. Let me ask you a question. Do you think here, all right, at this point in the movie, would it have worked if he must be in the basement and the fight is not in the ring? Would it have worked if, as he's punching the bag, they juxtapose it and they get into Rocky's head and put him in the ring? Would that have worked here?
No.
All right.
No,
Okay. Just checking. Just checking.
I like it. I like the idea. Keep coming in with the ideas, folks. We're making a great Rocky film. We're making a great Rocky film.
In my head. Yeah. It flashed in my head.
That's too. You're talking about shoving it down your throat.
Because this right here, when he's punching the bag, it's supposed to hit us hard. Because we see Adrian and Rocky Jr.'s reaction and Paulie's reaction. They're like shocked by the power in which he hits the bag. Sure. And again, it's supposed to hit us hard. It just doesn't. It feels like they're trying for it. It just doesn't hit.
So that sequence there, of course, of Rocky being so excited, it's almost over the top, excuse the pun, with the acting, but I guess it's legit. He's just like your favorite team winning the Super Bowl or World Series. That's legit. That's the kind of excitement when I was enjoying my team before they got knocked out the playoffs. That's the kind of joy you can have watching sports, especially, again, this is a guy he trained.
You wouldn't expect Rocky to be rooting against him. If anything, I would have said Rocky wouldn't have even have watched the fight.
I'm glad he did, because that continues in the Creed films where you watch Adonis's fight in the second film. It shows it even. Yeah. Anyways, Adrian, though, is now, I think he's a little bit too excited here. The heartbreak hasn't happened yet, but she still senses something's askew.
Yeah. She's known from the beginning.
Adrian, 6, 7.
I like that. He goes 5. Adrian. I kind of like these. Adrian, be excited.
Look at her. She's shaking her head.
I wonder why she's worried about Tommy winning here. I don't know. Maybe she knows something's going to happen. I don't know.
Or does she think Rocky's going to get sucked right back into it?
Oh, maybe. Yeah. What happens if Tommy comes calling again? Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, kid. Looks like it's over. 9, 10. You're out. It's out. Union's got it. Got it in the first round. Tommy Machine Gun, the youngest heavyweight champion of all time.
You hear that? That's on the theatrical cut. The youngest heavyweight champion of all time. This is supposed to be because he's patterned after Tyson, I think.
I guess. He's 19, right?
Yeah, he's 19. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, by way of a knockout, we have a new champion, Tommy the Machine Gun.
This is unbelievable. You know what this kid done? He won his own belt. For sure. He got his own. See?
All right, there you go. Very good.
You see what he's done? Now, he said something about the belt. He got his own belt. He points to the belt that he has over there. And Adrian's smiling with Robert. So that's a genuine smile there. It's weird.
Because they know who's responsible, and they're proud. They're proud that he's proud. And if he's happy, they're happy.
Okay.
See what it's all about? Like, when you taught something, you learn, and you can be a teacher too, because you learned the right way. Like you've done.
Congratulations.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Overacting, but good stuff.
Yeah, he's saying, see, if you learn, and I can teach, I can do this, I can do this stuff, I can teach, I can da-da-da. And Adrian's pointing to the TV. She's like, Rocky, they're about to say something. Tommy's about to break your heart. Listen.
Yeah.
Thanks for upset victory. You're now the champion of the world. How do you feel?
Never better. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with these people, but...
Because you're not a champion, you're a crumb-bug dirtbag. Come on.
I love that. You're not a champion. I love the way he says champion. Champion.
Yeah. That's the Burt Sugar way, the old school cigar.
Yeah, you're not a champion.
Yeah. Crumb bum, ham and egg. Ham and egg.
And now Rocky's still, come on, man, give him a break.
Yeah. But he's like, Tommy's cutting a heel promo.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. He's turning heel.
I don't know what's wrong with all these damn people.
Yeah, I know. It's totally a wrestling movie. You're right.
Yeah.
He's about to tear off Hogan's chain at Piper's Pit.
Yep. You got it.
Long live the king! I'd like to say thank you. I'd like to thank the man who made this happen. And I'd like to thank the man who made me believe that all this could happen.
So even Adrian's nodding. Okay, they're gonna thank Rocky. They truly believe. Now we know it's not gonna happen because it's a movie, but I like to believe in the real world they might actually believe he's gonna thank Rocky.
Well, I'm going to give the movie credit here, and you know how hard that is for me.
Wow.
Okay, I remember seeing it for the first time, and it's completely telegraphed. He's walking right into it from the angel on the shoulder thing. He's walking right into it. We know who he's going to thank, but it still stings.
Yeah.
It still stings the audience a little bit. That's the full heel turn.
I would like to thank the angel in my corner, Karen.
Yeah. But that's Andre the Giant coming onto Piper's Pit with Bobby the Brain Heenan right there.
Yeah.
If we're going to draw that analogy,
That's what I mean.
little moment does land. I have to give it credit. I have to give credit where it's due. It does land.
And I will say, Sly's acting of brushing it off, trying to pretend it doesn't bother him, is very well done. From the moment he goes to have drinks with Paulie, the way he's like, he's trying to be very stoic. I'll give him credit.
Love it.
Instead of him throwing a fit or how dare he, it shows great character in the character of not blowing his top, just letting it go. That's great stoicism level 100. And even Adrian's like, you can give him everything, but you can't give him your heart. We're going to see it all play out. But I think this is actually a very high-end acting from all involved.
Yes, the last act of this movie, Stallone does his best acting work of the movie. It's starting with this right here. I love how he exits. She's, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, I'm all right. Yeah, it's okay." You know, he's not. He's like, "Oh, I'm fine." You know,
Like an angel on my shoulder. Mr. George, what's that do?
Whoa.
Sly's eyes there, very good acting in his eyes. He's kind of, oof, that's embarrassing. Like he stings. But he takes a deep breath, and Adrian's looking over at him. And she looks great here, by the way. This is one of the better. She looks really nice. Yeah, it was really pretty. Yeah, and again, Adrian's support is so spot on. Yeah.
Yes.
And even Paulie is smart enough not to kick Rocky when he's down.
Yep.
Yeah.
He invites him out.
Yeah.
The machine gun. Boy, I'll tell you, a big surprise, at least to me, that the new champion thing.
That head roll that he does there, the kind of, he's almost pretending. We all did just hear that. That didn't happen. Like we didn't hear that. He's almost pretending. Oh, what a good fight. That was a good fight, right, guys?
Yeah.
The guy that got him. This crowd is unhappy. And the only person who really brought up is the promoter, George.
Uncle, too much TV is bad for your eyes.
No, my eyes okay.
Too much TV is bad for my ears.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a good fight, huh?
It's okay, Dad. You're the real champ around here. I made this for you.
Oh, yeah?
You really should have made another picture of Madame Dupont is what he should have done.
Yeah. This stuff I like.
Yeah.
This stuff is good.
And now that's supposed to be Rocky and Paulie. It looks like the Rocky IV Russian leader dude, though, next to him.
This is where Rocky Jr.'s place is in the Rocky universe.
Right.
Just these little fun moments, the dinner with the robot and Ford. I just feel like bringing him in, making him the centerpiece is part of what derails this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Rocco, let's put our teeth around a few brews, okay? I can use the company.
Yeah, good idea.
Again, Burt Young, great little acting there. The way he says it, sticks out his tongue, the rubbing of his nose.
He's
It's all
like,
great.
you know what? This is Paulie.
Yeah,
Let's
but
use
it's great. I love how Paulie's being, this is saying anything negative about Tommy, even. He just, let's move forward. Great moment for Paulie.
And I will say this, because I gather we're probably not going to get to it on this episode.
No.
But when he takes the hit for Rocky is one of my favorite moments.
I love you,
in
Gru.
movie-going history.
Are we going to go for another 2 hours? I can go.
No, I could, but I definitely truly appreciate that Paulie moment.
Oh, yeah, it's great, of course.
Do you actually go out with your Uncle Paulie?
If I can watch TV.
Yeah, okay, listen. Yeah, you can watch TV, okay, but don't stay up too late. You gotta get them bones going.
All right.
There's the kiss. You got the kiss in. That works.
I like the little payoff. I like the little bones grow payoff. Those little things are good.
Yeah.
Something.
Jeez.
I told you you could give him everything, but you can't give him your heart.
Oh, it's okay, Adrian. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sorry. Hey, kid, don't you stay up too late, okay? So fine.
Are you okay?
I won't be out too late.
Okay.
See you, champ.
Yeah, have a good time with Uncle Paulie.
Yeah.
I love how Adrian even laughs there about having a good time with Uncle Paulie. Oh, my husband's gonna get trashed.
That's great. I love this right here. It's very good.
And then she gives a big sigh. Yeah.
Love that. That's where Adrian. That's her stuff right there.
Great sequence, great moments in this film. Again, I don't mind the street fight. I'll say this. I'll probably say it 100 times when we cover it in the next couple episodes, but it just didn't have to be the end. It should have ended in the ring. I don't care what anyone says. Have your little scuffle in the street. The cops could have come, broke it up. They calmed down. They're like, fine, we're going to finish this in the ring. Why not? What Rocky fan truly left thinking, I'm glad he wasn't in the ring. Nobody wants to see Rocky in the ring. It's like saying you want to see Rambo without a kill. I'm sorry. It doesn't work.
Yes, I remember seeing it in theater. I was probably 15 years old.
15, yeah.
And of course, the fight, we're screaming and yelling, chanting, and it was a blast, and we're coming out of it. That was the greatest Rocky we've ever seen, and blah, 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 blah. And of course, over time, we realized that the issue really is that at the end of the street fight, we are nowhere different than we were at the beginning of the street fight. There are no stakes. Yeah. There's nothing there. And
in fact, there's a possible lawsuit from George Washington coming. Like,
exactly. In fact, everybody should be arrested.
Tommy was.
But I don't even think he was. And to tell you the truth, we'll talk about it some other time. But I love the big changes that they make in that too. I really do.
Yeah, that one's gonna be a tough one, Ed. I don't know. I might just do the whole work print version ending period, just because it's the street fight. Like every fight in the Rocky films, it's not really much to comment on. Punch, 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 punch. We've faced this every time we cover the final fights in these films. So what I might do for conversation pieces, I might just show the workers print final fight, because there's obviously
I would say that's a great idea, because everybody's familiar with what is, and that is radically different.
Yeah,
in
and
several ways.
That might be just worth showing, because we know the whole fight is just fight, stops, starts, ends, and then sue me for what and all this stuff. So it's okay. Let's see how the workers print ends the film. It might be the way to go. Yeah,
but there's a lot more story beats in the
there
work
is.
print.
And I don't want to spoil anything, because some people might not even know there's a guest appearance that happens in the workers print that does not happen in the film. So Evan didn't show up. I hope
Evan's okay. He's fine. I got a text from him. He had a family emergency. He'll be good for the next time. He apologizes, but he's looking forward to hearing what we have to say and yelling at me about it.
Oh, he's going to give you a hard time. Yeah,
of course. I'm the film snob. He knows that.
No, you're great. And maybe the problem isn't you. No,
no, it always is me. It's always me.
No, don't be silly. I always think the same thing too. When I go back and edit, I'm like, man, I'm the worst part of the show. Okay. All right, Andy, let people know where they can find you and Evan.
Yeah, Nothing Worthwhile with Moody and Gru on all podcast whatevers, platforms. Apple, Spreaker is our main one. But Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Nothing Worthwhile, Moody and Gru talk about movies, wrestling, Howard Stern, Billy Joel, Bruce Springsteen, whatever we're into that week. But it's usually predates 1990. And Rocky V cuts it close here. That's where we are. So come and check us out.
And don't forget, you host one of the shows in the Last of the Action Heroes podcast.
Yes, as part of the Nothing Worthwhile banner, we also tag team with the Last of the Action Universe Heroes, and we cover the Van Damme, Jean-Claude Van Damme. And our next episode, hopefully, will be next week. We'll be covering Kill 'Em All and Kill 'Em All 2, the Kill 'Em All franchise.
When you announced that, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That's next on our Van Damme docket.
I'm just quickly looking at his Wikipedia. I didn't even know he did those films. I admit, I haven't kept up with a lot of his films.
Guess what? Neither did I. Kill 'Em
All came out in 2017, and then Kill 'Em All 2 came out 7 years later, 2024.
Yeah. Before I watched them for our upcoming podcast, I had never even heard of them either.
I can't wait for you to cover The Gardener. You going to do The Gardener?
Yeah. I think that's on the list. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. You're not done yet. You guys have a lot to do yet. You're not done yet.
We have a whole second tier of...
You might have to go third or fourth tier. I don't even know what you call the other ones, because...
We got plenty coming up. Coming up. Just end of school year takes up a lot of time, but we'll get there.
All right. Thanks, brother. With that, Andy, this episode is over.
Ryan, I did not hear any bell.
I just want to